Motorola has had excellent success with 2 generations of the Moto G, and for good reasons. Today the company announced their revisions to the Moto G and the Moto X in the global market, with the Moto G launching in India. My name is Bharat Nagpal, and today we're going to be unboxing and taking a first look at the new Moto G 2015. You can see that there are a bunch of shells available for the Moto G as well, which are on the side. I'm going to get to them a little later. The box is pretty standard. You can see some of the specifications on the back. I'm going to cut through the packaging. Now, this may not be the final retail box that you get for your device, but this is sort of like a test box that we have over here. So that is the Moto G Gen 3. As you can see, it has 4G LTE, dual SIM card capabilities, and IPX7 rating. I'm going to put it to the side. I'm going to show you, this is the power adapter. You have dual USB ports on this, which is fantastic. You also have a standard set of earphones. These are not the in-ear type earphones. You also have a USB to micro USB charging and data syncing cable. And then you have a bunch of documentation, including warranty and a user guide inside the box. It has a 13 plus 5 megapixel camera setup, a 5-inch display, and dual SIM card capabilities. Now, the design is fairly similar to the previous generation of Moto G, at least from the front, and on the back you have this really nice finished back panel. These panels can be switched out with various colors that are going to be available. 10 colors for these panels are going to be available, along with 5 colors for the flip cases, which will also protect the front of the device. These flip cases will also snap on to the back, and then you have a flip cover which will go on top of the device. Now, these specific covers from Motorola come with these rubber seals. These seals will ensure that your IPX7 rating stays intact. So it's recommended that you get original Motorola covers so that you don't damage your device if you accidentally drop it in water. Now, if you remove the back panel, you'll see that the battery is non-removable, but you do have dual SIM card slots along with a micro SD card slot. Now, this device is a 4G enabled device. That means you can pop in 2 4G enabled SIM card slots, but 4G will be active only on 1 SIM card at a time. Now, before we go further, let's take a quick look at the device. Over at the front, you have the front facing earpiece along with a couple of sensors and the 5 megapixel camera. Below that, you have a 5-inch HD display. Now, this is a 720p display. Below that, you have the speakerphone, which also has a mic hole within the speakerphone. Now, over at the bottom, you have the micro USB charging and data syncing port, and a quick notch to pull out the back cover. On the right side, you have the volume rockers along with the main power button, which is texturized to recognize it easily. Over at the top, you have the secondary noise cancellation microphone along with the 3.5mm headphone jack. The left side is left bare bones, and on the back is the main 13 megapixel camera and a dual LED CCT flash. So that's a color correcting temperature flash. And then you have a dimple for the Motorola logo that stays intact. You can also remove these back panels and switch them out, and on the inside you'll see a dual SIM card slots and a micro SD card slot. Now, the device runs on a quad-core Snapdragon processor, which is at 1.4 gigahertz. You also get 2 options for RAM and ROM. So one option is 1 gigabyte of RAM and 8 gigabyte of ROM. And you can spend a little extra and get 16 gigabyte of ROM with 2 gigabyte of RAM, which is completely as per your requirements. But you can pop in a micro SD card in there anyway. If you're going to be using a lot of high intensity applications, high usage applications, then you might want to go in for a 2 gigabyte version versus a 1 gigabyte version, which is sort of targeted at a entry-level consumer. 2015 Moto G is presently running Android 5.1.1, and you get a bunch of new gestures, including this double chop to turn on or off the flashlight. You can also rotate your wrist to turn on the camera and then rotate it another time to go into the selfie mode. Just like previous editions of Motorola devices, the new Moto G also keeps Android usage very stock, and they add a bunch of applications, including the Motorola Assist application and the Motorola Migrate application that lets you switch from an older phone to the new Moto G. Motorola has had rugged devices in the past, the Motorola Defy being one example. The Moto G3, however, is an IPX7 rated device, which means that it's protected against 1 meter of immersion in water for about